Gen X is the most misunderstood generation alive. They're called cold, emotionally distant, too independent, not loud enough, not soft enough, not trendy enough. But what if I told you, Gen X isn't emotionally unavailable, they're emotionally self-trained. They don't think like millennials, they don't feel like boomers, and they definitely don't process life like Gen Z. Gen X grew up in a psychological pressure cooker, and it rewired how they trust, love, work, and survive. By the end of this video, you'll never look at Gen X the same way again. We're going to break down why Gen X doesn't overshare, why they value independence more than validation, why they struggle with emotions but thrive in crisis, and why their mindset is quietly shaping the world today. Stay till the end, because the final truth about Gen X explains why they often feel invisible in a loud world. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy psychology, human behavior, and deep mindset breakdowns, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps this channel reach people who think deeply but speak quietly, just like Gen X. Now let's begin. Part 1. Who Gen X really is. Gen X refers to people born roughly between 1965 and 1980. They grew up in a time of rising divorce rates, two-income households, latchkey childhoods, economic uncertainty, Cold War anxiety, minimal emotional parenting. Many Gen X kids came home to empty houses. No check-ins, no "how was your day?" no emotional coaching. So they learned early. Figure it out yourself. That single lesson shaped everything. Part 2. The latchkey effect. Gen X is the original self-soothing generation. They learned how to cook alone, how to manage fear alone, how to deal with boredom alone, how to regulate emotions without help. Psychologically, this creates emotional independence, but also emotional suppression. They don't panic easily. They don't ask for help easily. They don't collapse emotionally, even when they should. They became functionally strong but emotionally silent. Part 3. Why Gen X hates drama. Gen X didn't grow up in an era of constant emotional validation, no social media, no safe spaces, no viral trauma dumping, so they associate excess emotion with instability. That's why they avoid drama. They withdraw instead of arguing. They shut down instead of oversharing. To them, peace equals safety. They don't think, express everything. They think, handle it, move on. Part 4. The Gen X trust issue. Gen X trusts systems less and themselves more. Why? They watched institutions fail, promises break, authority figures disappoint. So psychologically, they developed skepticism, pragmatism, emotional guardedness. They don't believe hype. They don't trust trends. They don't assume people mean well. They believe in what works, not what sounds good. Part 5. Why Gen X isn't loud online. Gen X doesn't need to be seen to feel valid. They were formed before likes, shares, online applause. So they don't chase attention. They don't document every emotion. They don't perform vulnerability. They believe, if it matters, it'll show in results, not posts. Silence to them isn't weakness. It's self-containment. Part 6. Gen X and emotional intelligence. Here's the paradox. Gen X often struggles to talk about emotions, but they're incredibly good at reading them. They notice tone shifts, energy changes, behavioral patterns. They won't ask how you feel, but they already know. They just don't believe emotions need a microphone. Part 7. Why Gen X thrives in crisis. Gen X is calm when everything falls apart. Because chaos feels familiar. They were raised during economic instability, cultural transitions, emotional neglect. So pressure doesn't scare them. They don't freeze. They don't spiral. They adapt. Their psychology says, this isn't the first time I've had to survive quietly. Part 8. The invisible generation. Gen X often feels forgotten. Too old to be trendy. Too young to be revered. Too quiet to dominate conversations. But psychologically, they're the bridge generation. They understand old school resilience, modern complexity. They don't complain about being unseen, they just keep going. Gen X doesn't think differently because they're cold. They think differently because they were trained to survive without reassurance. They weren't taught to express, they were taught to endure. And that mindset, it made them emotionally strong, but quietly lonely. If this video finally put words to what you've always felt, or helped you understand someone you love, like this video, subscribe for more deep psychology content, and comment below, are you Gen X? Or have you felt this mindset in yourself? Because sometimes the strongest minds are the quietest ones. See you in the next video.